Happy Friday, Mayor Dan Pope with a weekly update. Hope you've had a great week. 3 quick topics this morning. Yesterday at our council meeting, we approved a complete street project for Broadway. You might say, what's a complete street? It's a project that will go from the Texas Tech campus to Martin Luther King, so that 3-mile stretch, which connects the university and downtown with East Lubbock and both McKenzie Park and the Canyon Lakes. And it will be a project where we'll have bike lanes, so both east and westbound bike lanes, without impacting traffic. In fact, we think it'll maybe even improve traffic because of some dedicated turn lanes on Broadway, left turn lane as well as right turn lanes at the lights. So more information on that. There was I believe an article in the paper on it, and if you need more information, we can get it to you from City Hall. A good project. So why does that matter? Well, there are a lot of people that enjoy riding their bikes. Some people like rodeo, some people like the symphony. Some people want to drive their big truck off-road, some people want to ride their bike. And if you've ever been in the Canyon Lakes late in the afternoons or on the weekends, you see the kind of use that we get out there, both the trails on the road as well as mountain bike trails off the road. And it's just another way that you make your community a little more livable, and in this case, a little safer in allowing that access to the canyons. So watch for the project. We'll be doing it this summer. We want to have it ready for when school starts next year. Last night, after a council meeting, I went to the Lubbock Lights event, and it's the 3rd year that Texas Tech has done this. And last night they had Buddy Holly, and Lloyd Maines and Sonny Curtis, and you probably know Joe Ely, and you probably know Lloyd Maines, but Sonny Curtis was, some of you may not know, he's nearly 80, was one of the Crickets, was one of Buddy Holly's contemporaries, and it was a great event. They've been in town all week. Tech has done this. This is the 3rd year, and they bring them in not just for the concert, but they work. They're on campus all week. They go in the community. They've been at both Lubbock High and Monterey this week, talking to students, and it just further, first of all, it celebrates some of our legends of music, but it allows them to give back. And the cool thing about last night was right in front of us there were a bunch of college kids, and right behind us there were some 80-year-olds. They were some of my parents' friends, folks that they went to Tech with back in the 50s, and everybody had the same takeaway. It was just a really cool event. Celebrates our music heritage. Big credit to Texas Tech for doing that. Finally, just a quick update on my week. I mentioned last week that I was going to go on an economic development trip, and I left Saturday afternoon, got back late yesterday afternoon in time for the council meeting. But we went to Europe and we visited, had several meetings, but the 2 big meetings were with Bayer Crop Science and with XFAB, and those are 2 of our large employers locally. And these are not the kind of folks that you can go across town and thank the CEO of that organization for what they do to your community. It's not difficult for me to spend time with the CEO of United Supermarkets and make sure I'm up to speed on what they're doing and make sure they understand how important they are to us. But some of our employers, you've got to get on the road and go see the folks that run the business above your key local people. And that's what we were able to do in both Germany and in France this week when we had those meetings. And so here's just why it's important. Between those 2, they employ 560 people locally. Their payrolls exceed $40 million. They paid property tax in 2016 alone of $1.13 million. They paid nearly $5.5 million worth of utilities between the 2. So particularly XFAB in their manufacturing business is a big utility client of both LP&L, but also of water and sewer. Maybe most importantly is that they both have strong ties with Texas Tech. Bayer's, you probably are aware of the facility on the Tech campus where they do research together. XFAB hires Tech grads. They do some work together and are trying to extend that. But when we had those meetings, both of the leaders, the CEO of XFAB, the guy who runs the seeds business for Bayer worldwide, they both talked about how important it is, how strategic it is for them to have relationships with universities, with the research that goes along there. And it was interesting to hear them say that, because that's similar to Tech's message about how they prepare graduates for the future and how they become more viable is in their research efforts. So it was a great trip. I really feel like there's positive future investment from both Bear and XFAB, and I was glad I had a chance to make that happen this week. Thanks for all you do. Thanks for your good ideas and your thoughts, your support, your prayers. We appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you next week.